And we are live. Welcome, friends. Central Florida Weather Live, the show for this Monday, February the 24th. It is a wet, somewhat stormy day across all of Central Florida. Rusty here with you. Glad to see you on this Monday. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a fantastic weekend. Coming up, we're going to be talking about a really wet forecast for the remainder of today. We'll look at the areas that I expect to have a little bit better chance for a few rumbles of thunder. And then, of course, we've got your forecast as we head through the week. Nice to hear from you guys. Hi, Fiona. How you doing? It has been a very wet day. We talked about it on Friday's show that we thought we'd get through Sunday okay, but late last night and especially overnight, the rain moved in. As we get started, of course, I always want to shout out our sponsor here of CFLW, the show. That's the leading law firm of Central Florida. They're your hometown homeowners insurance attorneys. They cover homeowners, condo owners, and associations across the entire state. Anything that can impact you or your property. So think hail damage, hurricane damage, think burst pipes, car accidents. They're there to walk you through every step of the insurance claim process. They do offer free consultation and policy reviews. If these situations arise in your life, I suggest you go to leanonmelaw.com to get more information and contact Bobby Lean and the team there. Alrighty, let's get started here for you guys. We're going to get into, again, a real wet forecast for today. This is the live radar out of Tampa. Again, here with my weather computer, I've got the opportunity to show you guys a lot of technology here. So this is the live next round radar out of the Tampa area, and you can see that wet weather that just continues to move in from the Gulf. And again, from time to time, it's been on the heavier side, especially towards our far coastal western areas like Pinellas into Hillsborough County, portions of Manatee County, the southern sides of Hernando County as well. And that swath of light to moderate rain extends all the way through Polk County, southern sides of Sumter into central and southern sides of Lake County, the western and the southwest sides of Orange County, northern Osceola County. So we're talking about places all the way from Lakeland to Claremont, Ocoee, Winter Garden towards downtown Orlando, back towards Kissimmee. And all of this just continues to spread off towards the east. I'm going to bring on the composite radar because that's just a little bit easier to loop up here. And let me show you that. Put this into motion over the last few hours. What we have, friends, is an area of low pressure coming out of the eastern Gulf and continuing to just send some energy into our area. Now, that being said, temperatures aren't relatively warm right now. The air is somewhat stable, so you notice that in this view, we only have a few lightning strikes from time to time. You can see some of those just offshore of places like Clearwater Beach and St. Pete Beach at the hour. Generally speaking, this is where we've had some of the heaviest rain, right down US 19 on over towards the bridges there as well, like the Gandy and the Howard Franklin, Pinellas Park, St. Pete, Bradenton, Bayshore Gardens. And again, this energy is still evecting through. Now, it's warmer and the air is juicier the farther south that you go in the state. So we're going to get the opportunity for some heavier storms and maybe even a stronger or severe storm in the far southern third of the state. I don't expect there to be severe weather here in our area. Let's take a look at the current, let's see here. We'll do temperatures. I think I have temperatures and rain set up automatically. Let's see here. Yeah, radar temps. There we go. So let me bring up radar temps. Here we go. And again, appreciate you guys tuning in. You have a specific question about the forecast, drop it in the comments section below. If you're watching the live version, I really do appreciate you guys hitting that thumbs up for me right now. So you notice it's a chilly day. I mean, temperatures right now through our area are mainly just in the upper 50s to the low to mid 60s. These temperatures are going to hold pretty steady into the afternoon hours because of the extra clouds and the waves of rain coming through. And it's going to be a relatively wet day. There's going to be a lot of Central Florida that ends up getting more than an inch of rain from the total accumulation, which started in most areas just after the midnight hour, really picked up just before daybreak, and will continue the remainder of this Monday and at least until the daybreak hours of tomorrow. That's right. It's going to be completely wet outside at least through daybreak tomorrow. And in some areas, southern and southeast, we could hold on to some of the light showers at least through the lunchtime hour for Tuesday. So you get the idea that this system, although it is not extremely potent, it is in a cumulative way going to bring a decent amount of rain in our area here over the next 24 hours or so. Again, 64 degrees right now at OIA, just 57 in the Yahala, Leesburg area, Crystal River in at 59, Daytona Beach in at 61, St. Augustine just 59. But as I've mentioned, you go farther south in the state and here's the juice. Now, it's not upper 80s like summertime, but there's a little bit more instability down here with temperatures that have warmed into the lower 70s in some areas. So let's take a look at the Storm Prediction Center day one risk, okay? So the general risk of storms envelops all of our area. That is the lighter green that you see. There is, at this point in time, no risk for any severe storms in our area here. Let me take off that main timeline. So there's no risk for severe storms in our area, all right? But generalized thunderstorms are a possibility from Palm Coast, Ocala, and south. So that includes all of Central Florida, Orlando, Tampa, Melbourne, Palm Bay, Daytona Beach, Ormond Beach, all of those areas. When you get to the darker greens, as I mentioned, all the way down here south of Lake Okeechobee, so places like West Palm, Fort Lauderdale, Miami, all of the Keys, Key Largo, Island Mirada towards Key West, they're under that marginal risk for an isolated strong to severe storm. And we're talking about winds of 60 miles an hour and or inch-size hail. And the main threat is going to be the winds being produced out of this. That's a 1 out of 5 on the risk from the Storm Prediction Center. So you know anyone who lives in the far southern side of the state, might want to just give them a heads up, let them know again. Could be a relatively active afternoon across the area. We'll go back over to the radar for you right now. And again, this is the live radar out of the Tampa area. And as we can look at all the different radar sites. Let's switch on over to the Melbourne radar, KMLB. And again, I hope you guys are doing well. That'll just show you a little bit better some of the rain that's been pushing offshore, where the rain is just going to continue for Daytona Beach, Edgewater, Oak Hill, Titusville areas. Now, I have what's called my storm cell tracking mode on right now, meaning that if there was anything that was more potent within this embedded shield of rain, the radar system that I have would pick it up and we could track that individual cell. But there is nothing that is really sticking out right now, okay? And again, this will mainly be showers and an isolated rumble of thunder. Again, in this view, you just have one lightning strike, and that's mainly just offshore. So, you know, places like Brandon and Lakeland, up I-4 towards Orlando, it's just going to be wet. Again, you've seen rain, you're seeing rain, and you will see rain. That's the story of the rest of this Monday. It's just going to be very wet outside, so any plans are going to be wet. Obviously, we're not going to be doing a lot of golfing today. We're not going to be playing a lot of pickleball, a lot of tennis outside. Just that's kind of the situation right now. But going to pick up the kids from school, going to run those errands. Yes, it's going to be on the wetter side here as well, so you got to keep that in mind. Trying to get my remote desktop to come up here. Just 1 second here, guys. For some reason, well, this isn't great. All right. You guys are seeing a good radar, which is fantastic, because behind the scenes, I have to get my remote desktop back up and running. But anyway, you can see the live radar, which is the most important thing anyway. What I wanted to try and do here, if this thing is going to cooperate, and that would be fantastic, is actually show you guys the cameras that we have from the area. So here we go. I'm going to take myself off cam. So that's from the Disney area. Again, this camera shot is just 1 mile from the Magic Kingdom. And as you guys know, this is a very common sight across Central Florida. This is exactly what we're going to see the remainder of the day. The roads are wet. Things are just wet outside. There's not going to be a ton of wind associated with this. The breeze will pick up from time to time, but generally speaking, you know, again, not expecting there to be a heck of a lot of wind associated with the activity here that we're going to get the remainder of the day. So just kind of soggy conditions across the area. That's going to be a common sight. Live look to Lake Conway near downtown Orlando. Same situation again, gray overcast skies. A little bit farther north and east that you go, it is slightly drier at the hour, so we're actually looking to the north and east from the, on the west, on the left-hand side of the screen. And just a little bit of a break in the clouds, but generally speaking, over Orlando and through most of Central Florida, it's overcast conditions with that light rain. Now, by the way, the intensity of the rain in the downtown Orlando area, and including the attractions, is going to be picking back up here momentarily. That next slug of moisture is about ready to work its way in, so expecting things to get back on the wetter side in those areas. So again, let's go back over to the composite radar. Throw that back on, just a little bit better opportunity for you guys to see the motion of this rain over the past couple of hours. Now, something that I need to address, okay, so I hope you guys will give me a second about this, and that is what we're going to be calling this body of water, okay? And I don't want to get into anything political. If you guys have heard, President Trump signed an executive order to rename the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America, okay? And I know that there is some questions as to, you know, who recognizes that and how that's going to play out. And like I said, this is not a political platform. I don't really want to get into the politics of it. This is about giving you guys important information and also keeping the messaging consistent. So I've really had to think about, you know, how I'm going to address this. And here is what I'm going to do, okay? The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration and the National Hurricane Center, because the NHC is a branch of NOAA, have officially renamed on their maps and on their discussions, everything, that this is the Gulf of America. So that's how I am going to be addressing it, as the Gulf of America, so that the messaging is consistent. Because as we get closer to hurricane season, right, and they start issuing those tropical discussions, everything that you're going to see here is going to be referenced as the Gulf of America. So I want to keep that messaging consistent. Again, not a political thing. It's just how the nature of this is going to play out. So I wanted you guys to know that. I wanted to address it, that based on NOAA changing all of their maps and changing all of their discussions to Gulf of America, that's how I'm going to be addressing it as well. Kevin, how you doing, man? Good afternoon from Lakeland. Garrett is back in the house from North Carolina, saying it's been raining very hard here in Lakeland. You got it, Kevin. It absolutely has been as well. No doubt about it. Again, we mentioned how, you know, the heaviest rain right now is basically moving through Pinellas and Hillsborough County and into Lake County. So anywhere from St. Pete, Clearwater, Tampa, Town and Country area, Brandon, Lakeland, and then moving up towards Haines City and Kissimmee. That's the most persistent rain right now. And again, you know, there's waves still coming through. We're going to look at the models coming up in a second, but the area of low pressure itself is still out here in the eastern Gulf of America, as I've just mentioned. And we're going to have to watch for this to continue to kick out some energy until it fully passes through. This is a little bit slower system than A, what was expected, and B, what we've had lately as well. Okay, it's not an extremely potent system, but it's going to keep the wet weather in the forecast at least through the daybreak hours tomorrow. Now you can clearly see when I put on our winds, we're looking at the counterclockwise winds here, which are situated, probably about 100 to 150 miles off the coastline of Sarasota, Bradenton. Notice it's not a huge gradient here. We don't have a ton of wind. As a matter of fact, I can actually put on our buoy observations as well. Like I said, I love this system. We can do so many things live here. It's going to be a great analysis tool when we get back into severe weather season and we're tracking these storms live. But you guys get the idea that, again, these offshore buoys right now are showing winds that are around 20 miles an hour. And right now they're still out of the northeast, right? So the low has yet to pass by this marine buoy 42022. It's just right off here. And you can even see a little bit of lightning developing nearer that center of circulation. So that's going to eject through. Obviously on the southern side of this, you have the warm sector of the storm, because your winds are still going to be out of the south and east, and it's quite breezy outside, and anywhere that they have even a little bit of sunshine has destabilized the atmosphere a bit. So again, if you're just tuning in from the West Palm area south, but especially Fort Lauderdale, Miami, and the Keys, they do have an opportunity for a severe thunderstorm later in the day. For Central Florida, I'm not expecting that to be the case. Temperatures here are a little bit cooler. The air is a little bit more stable. This will be rain with a few isolated thunderstorms as well. Appreciate you guys tuning in to Central Florida Weather Live, the show, the live version of the show. If you guys are here, thank you so much for liking this live stream. Drop a comment in like Fiona and Garrett and Kevin have. Let me know where you're viewing from, what the weather is like. You have a specific question about the forecast, feel free to drop it down there in the comments section below as well. So let's take a look at a couple of different things here. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit. That's the wrong button. That's the northeast. Let's go back out here to the southeast. So again, and I'm going to throw back on the clouds and the rain here as well. So let's bring on, let's see if the visible satellite imagery is cooperating today. Looks like it is. It's a beautiful presentation, high resolution, visible satellite imagery. We've got the composite radar on here as well. The Viz satellite imagery will kick in here in just a second. We'll get that looping up. But you can clearly see here on this Viz satellite imagery, again, great presentation. I'll knock this down a couple of hours here just so it doesn't loop as far out in time. Excellent. We've got the wind barbs on. Let me take those off as well. All right, here we go. So you can clearly see again, there's our center of circulation. It's kind of broad and elongated. You know, it's not the healthiest looking area of low pressure that we've ever had here in the central and eastern Gulf, but it is kicking off this energy. And we turned, by the way, how beautiful was this weekend? My goodness, I mean, I obviously knew what was coming today. We kicked the kids outside and said, get to the park, enjoy things. We knew what was coming, but I mean, was yesterday maybe a top 10 day for the entire year? I think so. You know, temperatures in the 70s, nothing but sunshine, low humidity as well. So you can see that the cloud coverage associated with this does extend into the southern sides of Georgia, Alabama, portions of Louisiana, and Mississippi as well. So we're going to take some time to A, get the rain out of here, and then B, time to clear out. But once it does, we are going to get north winds again and temperatures will drop. Now, it's not going to be a cold plunge of air. All right, we will see temperatures drop a little bit early to midweek, and then they'll begin to moderate again ahead of the next front coming in. We've been very kind of like clockwork here to get these fronts coming in every 4 to 5 days, and that's exactly what we typically see. Again, you need these fronts to get us some rain here in Central Florida this time of the year, and that is certainly holding true. So let's get into the models, and then I've got your city-by-city forecast. We'll take a look at the total precip that I expect as well. But again, if you live in Central Florida, you should expect an inch of rain at least out of what we're going to end up seeing here. So let's start off by taking a look at the HER model, the high-resolution refresh, rapid refresh. I'm going to grab a quick drink of my vitamin water as I do. Again, this low is going to be skirting just south of us. So it's going to keep us in the slightly more stable air, all right? Not expecting there to be a big time thunderstorm event here. There could be an isolated storm, though. Don't get me wrong. Like, don't be shocked if you hear a rumble of thunder, but as far as actually producing any severe weather at the hour, I don't expect it. So let me switch back over to the model timeline. You'll see that. So this is as of right now. Right? And I always like to take a look at this HER model because it updates hourly, you know, what's happening right now compared to what we're really seeing. It's overdoing the rain a little bit right now in our far northern areas. I think it's got a good handle on the heavier rain from Orlando towards Tampa across I-4. And you can clearly see it's favoring our far southern areas, Manatee, Sarasota counties, and areas south to get a little bit better slug of moisture and some better generalized thunderstorm activity. As we go through the afternoon hours, it's just going to stay wet, guys. Again, overcast, bursts of rain from time to time, sprinkles at other times, but the roads are going to be wet. Please be very cautious on area roadways. Put a little bit of space between you and the car ahead of you. We know how it plays out, guys, but I feel like I have to say this every time because we know how the drivers are around here as well. But you can clearly see for the remainder of the daylight hours of this Monday, it just stays wet. Now, as mentioned, again, West Palm Beach south, there's your better chance for a strong to severe storm. All right, a little bit more instability and kick in the atmosphere there. Still can't rule out, again, a spotty rumble of thunder into our central and northern areas as well. As we head through the evening hours, still going to be relatively wet. Again, any Monday evening plans, you still should consider to grab the rain gear, the umbrellas as you head out. The rain will begin to break apart overnight, but we're not going to be completely done with all of the rain even into daybreak tomorrow morning. As a matter of fact, the HER model has a little burst of rain redeveloping right across Orlando, Altamont Springs, Sanford, Deltona, Eustis, Umatilla, Asatula, Leesburg, places like Webster, on over towards the Villages, Floral City, Inverness, southern sides of Citrus County, and even on up towards the Palm Coast area just south of St. Augustine to have a little bit more in the way of actual appreciable rainfall tomorrow morning. Here's 9 a.m. And again, we're going to finally see this break apart. Drier air is moving in, but it's going to take some time. And if you live along our east coast from St. Augustine to Palm Coast, Daytona Beach, and I think especially back down into our southeast areas here, especially Brevard and Indian River County, so Titusville, Merritt Island, Indian Satellite Beach, Palm Bay, Mico, on over towards Sebastian and Vero Beach, you could hold on to a shower through lunchtime. right? Especially the cloud coverage as well. Skies should begin to clear northwest to southeast during tomorrow afternoon as northerly winds and drier air comes in and gives us what's going to be a drier forecast from there on out for the rest of the week. Here's the loop of it. As you guys can clearly see, that broad center of circulation will basically be passing just to the south of us. We should stay kind of with a northerly wind. There'll be a bit of an easterly component from time to time as well, which interesting is, of course, is behind this, we'll pick up a west wind, and that will keep some of our west coast slightly cooler than central and eastern sides as we get towards midweek. Back to the chat, guys. Again, you have a specific question, just drop it in the comment section below. I'm happy to hear from you guys as well. So that's what the rain looks like. What do you say we sneak a peek at the cloud coverage as well? I haven't even looked at this. Let me bring up the HER model cloud coverage, and we'll see if this thing wants to cooperate. It's going to flash a little bit, so don't be too shocked. Again, this is a very high resolution model, but I want to show you guys this because it is so high resolution. We can really see that low moving through places like Manatee and Sarasota counties and then moving off towards the east. Isn't that a really cool presentation, by the way? Love it. So it actually loaded up very nicely for us. So here it is again right now. We're stuck in the overcast. What else is new? Here comes that low moving in, but it's really not going to move on shore and kind of eject the energy through the peninsula until the overnight hours into early tomorrow morning. Once it does, that's when skies will finally begin to clear, and you can see that low pulling away, the north winds coming in, almost kind of shearing out the remainder of that low in the western Atlantic, and then we get those northerly winds coming in and some drier and some cooler air and a lot more sunshine beginning to return as well. So let me loop that up for you guys one more time. You can see again on this is going to be the HER model, a very high resolution model here for the cloud coverage coming in. So we're overcast the remainder of the day, still some clouds early tomorrow morning, and then breaking apart as we get into the afternoon hours. Go back over to our radar here real quick. One more time, we'll look at that, and then we'll get into our forecast. And again, at the hour right now, heaviest rain from Hernando, southern Sumter, portions of Lake County, into central and the western sides of Orange, places like Orlando, Ocoee, Winter Garden, even up towards Apopka. A little bit of rain now moving into places like Kissimmee and the Celebration area, Davenport and Haines City. So it's getting wet at the attractions. We already looked at that camera, but you get the idea here. Solid rain for Polk City, Zephyr Hills, Winter Haven, Lakeland, Plant City, Brandon, Carrollwood, Town and Country, Tampa, Brandon, Gibsonton, Palm Harbor, Clearwater. A little bit of a break in the action right now in our northern areas. So St. Augustine, Palatka, Crescent City, Pearson, Ocala, Denellen, Chiefland looking pretty good. Spotty showers towards the northern sides of Volusia County on over towards Daytona Beach. I'm going to switch off of the, bring back on the composite here, loop that up for you guys. And again, you can just see that rain moving through. Now this was just a little bit earlier here, and you can see that we've broken apart some of that rain in this area. It'll be a little bit more persistent into our southern zones at the present time. And down in southern Brevard County, we're starting to pick up a little bit of rain right now. You can see that nice little burst picking up just right around I-95, so just west of Melbourne, Palm Bay, Indian Harbor, towards the satellite beach areas. So that's what it looks like at the present time, guys. And again, we're going to have some gusty winds and relatively cool conditions across our area. All right, let's get into the city-by-city forecasts. What do you say we do that? We'll start off with Orlando. So again, even tomorrow morning, there'll be the opportunity for a couple of showers. Now it's going to be wrapping up, right? 20% chance for a shower tomorrow morning. We'll start off at 60, north winds, skies will clear. It will be warmer than today, but temperatures will be slightly below average for tomorrow with a daytime high of 72. Just an absolutely gorgeous Wednesday, plenty of sunshine, still relatively lower humidity, 54 the morning low, we're up to 75, and we'll build on that warmth with a little bit more of a southeast wind on Thursday. Look for mostly sunny skies and 78 the daytime high. So very lovely conditions in Orlando. Once we get past the rain early tomorrow morning, I do expect at least partly sunny skies for your Tuesday afternoon. In Tampa we go. Tampa will, and Pinellas County as well, so St. Pete area, Clearwater Beach, will all be dealing with thick cloud coverage and at least some spotty light rain through mid-morning tomorrow, right? We'll then see at least some sunshine return late in the day, 61 the morning low, 73 the daytime high. An absolutely gorgeous day on Wednesday, 76 the daytime high after a morning low of 57. But you notice Tampa actually drops a degree on Thursday, where places like Orlando warmed up. As I mentioned, we're actually have a bit of a west wind across our west coast, and that will tap into the relatively cooler waters of the eastern side of the Gulf of America, and that will allow temperatures to actually hold steady or drop a bit in those afternoon hours. But there is still going to be plenty of sunshine as well. Mostly sunny conditions, the daytime high of 75. So great Wednesday, Thursday. For our friends in the Bradenton area, again, morning rain expected, light, but the roads will still be wet, clearing skies in the afternoon. After a low of 62, we're up to 74 for a daytime high. So again, we struggle a little bit to get some of the clouds to clear out, which means it's going to be a little bit on the cooler side for the afternoon hours, relatively speaking. But then we bump up to 78 there in Bradenton, Manatee County for Wednesday afternoon with nothing but sunshine. Still mostly sunny skies and a gorgeous day on Thursday. We're up to 77 for the daytime high after a low of 61. Spring Hill we go. Morning showers again, likely there in Spring Hill. 73 the daytime high. It's not bad. Look, you want to get out and play an afternoon round of golf in Spring Hill tomorrow. You're looking good. The sunshine will be throughout the entire area on Wednesday. Again, still cool though Wednesday morning. That's going to be our coldest morning of the next 3 days. There will be some upper 40s as well. Excuse me. Spring Hill will get to 53, but a light jacket or a windbreaker, absolutely. You can say goodbye to those by the lunchtime hour, up to 78. And then just a great day in Spring Hill, 56 the morning low on Thursday, 76 the daytime high. To our friends up in Palm Coast, Flagler County, again, 30% chance for some showers tomorrow morning. As I've mentioned, the East Coast, the rain is going to linger a little bit longer into at least the late morning hours, and it wouldn't even shock me if there's a light shower into the early afternoon. But eventually we'll pull in some drier air, get you a little bit of sunshine to wrap up your Tuesday. So it's a cooler day there. 56 the morning low, but they will not get out of the 60s for a high, 68 the daytime high. And again, 50 for Palm Coast early on Wednesday morning. So St. Augustine, guess what? You guys are going to be in the upper 40s to kick off your Wednesday. But a beautiful afternoon, nice little 22-degree temperature climb from the 50 morning low to the 72 in the afternoon. Then partly sunny skies, still dry on Thursday and warmer. We're up to 76. Hey, Melbourne is looking pretty good as well, but they will also struggle to see the sunshine until late tomorrow afternoon. So they will see showers through noon for places like Titusville and Port St. John, Sharps, Vieira, Melbourne, Palm Bay, Mico, Barefoot Bay areas, in the Atlantic, Satellite Beach, Cape Canaveral. How many places in Brevard County would you like me to mention? I could continue, but I won't. 30% chance for showers through the noontime hour. Sunny and dry after that for Thursday or Wednesday. We're looking good up to 74. That's a banner day in Melbourne Thursday afternoon. Mostly sunny skies up to 78 degrees. Real quick mention, guys, again, I do have a new YouTube channel. It's called Weather Express. This channel covers Central Florida's weather, but if you're looking for the national forecast, we do have a new YouTube channel. I do a daily 5-minute forecast there. You can watch it at any point in time. So if you have friends or family or you're interested in another part of the country, go to Weather Express. The link is in the description of this live stream below. You can also find the link to Media Mundo if you want the Caribbean and the Bahamas forecast. We are expanding our depth here, what I'm doing. So 3 different channels right now, CFLW, Weather Express, and Media Mundo. Would appreciate the support going there and subscribing to the channel. Thank you guys very much for that as well. Okay, so now let's get back over to the computer. We're going to take a look at a couple of different things here real quick. First thing I want to look at is the rainfall total here. I actually want to do this on the HER model. So I'm going to bring back up the rain, and then I'm going to switch our parameter over to total precip. So let me do that. You guys enjoying this Monday, by the way? Is this your kind of weather? I would imagine a lot of folks are saying, no. I don't mind it, but it's just too long of a time, right? Not a big fan of it sticking around for this long. So let's loop up. Total precip, please. Thank you very much. So let's loop this up. So it's going to take just a second here, and we'll take a look at where the HER model has some of the heaviest rain. Now again, this is kind of the overall arcing story of this system for us that I want to make sure we're all clear about. There's a lot of the area here that is going to have more than an inch of rain. I think an inch and a half is not out of the question. I think maybe even up to 2 inches in a couple of spots. By the way, you guys can see the live conditions across our area there on the bottom hand side of your screen. So let me bring this out and let's take a look at some of the totals that we have here. Make sure we bring this all the way out. Excellent. All right. So we'll start off in our western zones. And again, these are going to be your cumulative rain totals over the entire event. And you can clearly see that the HRRR model wants to bring in over 2 inches of rain. How about 3 inches of rain in Bushnell? We'll see how it plays out. You know, if we can get some training, meaning that the showers just kind of move over one area, it wouldn't surprise me if we get more than 2 inches of rain. I think 3 inches is pushing it, but you can clearly see on our western sides here, we have a lot of areas that are trying to pick up well over an inch of rain, an inch and a half, even 2 inches. It gets a little bit drier as you get up into Marion County, but these are pretty solid rainfall totals for Citrus, portions of Hernando, Pasco, and Lake counties. We'll work our way east, De Leon Springs, DeLand here in Volusia County, Pearson over an inch and a half of rain. Again, Ormond Beach, Daytona, will average it out an inch to an inch and a half. It's trying to bring up to 2.5 inches in Flagler County, maybe close to an inch up there in Palm Coast. Again, lighter amounts as you get into St. Johns County. We'll go back down the coastline right now. Port Orange, about an inch of rain. And again, if you ask me what would you expect as an average, I would say an inch, with locally higher amounts. But you clearly can see that there's a heck of a lot of our area that the models are thinking are going to get that. A little bit drier in Brevard County overall. We'll see. There will still be some spots with some heavier rain. Harmony, Holopal areas there for our friends in Osceola County. Again, maybe 1 to 2 inches of rain there. Okay, our friends in Seminole County, Sanford, 1.4, Lake Mary, an inch and a half, Oviedo, a little bit more than an inch, Winter Park, an inch and a half of rain, downtown Orlando towards the Conway area where we have the camera, 1.8 inches of rain, MCO 1.4, Meadowwoods, down to the southern side of the county, 1.2, same thing for Lake Buena Vista, so the attractions are wet. There's the Oakland, Ocoee areas, again, more than an inch and a half of rain in a couple of areas there, Kissimmee about an inch and a half. We'll go down I-4, Haines City, Polk City, 1 to 1.5 there. How about Lakeland up to 2? Kevin was saying that it was already very wet there, and he says he does not appreciate this weather, and I don't blame him. But Kevin, in the Lakeland area, I think an inch and a half to 2 inches of rain, absolutely not out of the question. Again, anywhere that you see these whites, we're going to be pinging over 2 inches of rain. All you have to do, by the way, and I know it's small, but just look at your legend up top. You get to the pink and to the whites. You get to the inch and a half plus to 2 inches of rain. Now, I believe that the HRRR model is underdoing the rainfall totals in Pinellas, Hillsborough, portions of Manatee and Sarasota counties. We probably had more than this already. So again, the model's not perfect, but it gives you an idea. So I would expect these areas to still be well above an inch of rain in most areas, okay? So that's what the general view looks like. And again, you can clearly see that on a little bit farther to the south here towards Fort Pierce, like what could be a maximum of rain? You know, we've got 7 inches there between Fort Pierce and Lakewood Park. And again, heavy rain down here. We've already mentioned the opportunity for some stronger storms here, but there you go. Look at this swath of rain for the upper Keys towards Homestead and South Miami, which could be a gradient from 2 to 6 inches of rain. But these are solid rainfall totals for a February area of low pressure, right? And the reason why? It's moving pretty slow. It's pretty broad in nature. Let's get into what I expect. I'm going to go out to the big view here over the next coming days. We'll start off with our temperature outlook. Our temperature outlook over the next 6 to 10 days. So again, this is not taking into account what's happening days 1 through 5, today through day 5. This is day 6 to 10, kind of the extended outlook, right? If you guys are a fan of the Weather Express channel, you notice that you've known that I've been talking about the big warm up in the plains. It's big time problems because they've been so cold and they've had so much snow. There's going to be some huge snow melt going on. There's a ton of avalanche advisory or avalanche warnings for the Intermountain West and portions of the Pacific Northwest, Cascades, Olympics, maybe in the northern side of the Sierra Nevada. It's going to be a problem. For us on this temperature scale where you see the gray, it's a It's an absolutely average chance to have above or below normal temperatures in the 6 to 10 day time frame. What that means is we're going to average out to what we typically would see into early March. So we're not expecting any huge cold snaps, and we're not expecting any significant warm-ups. And again, we'll be warming up to the upper 70s on Thursday, but there's another front coming in with the opportunity for some cooler weather for the weekend as well. Nothing outrageous, let me be clear. Temperatures will be colder into the Northeast and New England, so keep that in mind if perhaps you have friends or are traveling up there as well. They're also going to get a little bit away of some snow. So even though we're warmer than average, we are actually going to be, as a country, very wet. Almost the entire country has an above average chance for rainfall totals or snowfall totals, precipitation in general, higher than normal in the 6 to 10 day time frame. It's not an exceptionally higher chance. You'd have to get into those darker greens to really see those percentages up. But relatively speaking, for the Southeast and Central Florida, we're going to stay wetter than average in the 6 to 10 day time frame. Now, again, that could literally be one day of very heavy rain. That's how it goes. Like today, we're getting, more than an inch of rain in some areas, and then we're going to be drying out, right? But overall, just to show you guys, we are going to see some wetter weather coming in. Now, I want to show you guys this here as well. This is going to be our GFS model. It's going to be a little bit farther out in time. So let me go back over here. I want to just talk about the next system that's going to be coming through. So again, the HER model, it's a great high resolution system, but it does only go out 48 hours at most, even in the extended version. So this is the GFS. I'm going to pull this up. Fiona, thank you very much. I work very hard to do it. We've got the graphics that I make for the 3-day forecast, and that's completely hand built. And then with this weather system, I've probably spent, and this is not an exaggeration, since late summer of 2023, hundreds of hours to customize it. It's a fantastic system, but to try and get it kind of up and running where you can do live streams and take all these parameters and switch them on the fly in a hurry, it takes a lot of coordination behind the scenes, and it's still a work in progress, to be quite honest, but starting to get the feel for it a little bit more. But I appreciate you pointing that out. Thank you very much, Fiona. Okay, so I'm going to get another swig of water here. This is the next system coming through. Now, again, this is going to be towards Friday, Saturday. What is absent from this next system? And I'll zoom in a little bit more here, right? Rain. I'm not sure that outside of a sprinkle or two Thursday, early Friday, we're actually going to get any rain out of this next system, guys, all right? So more than likely, our next front will be coming through late Thursday, Friday as a dry cold front, but it will bring in a little bit cooler weather for the weekend. And that's what we'll be talking about for Friday's show, all right? Not expecting us to see a lot of rain associated with the next front. Once again, if you're just tuning in, get ready for what is going to be a wet remainder of the day. That is not going to change. It's cool outside. It is windbreaker light jacket weather. These are your current conditions at 1:40 in the afternoon, and it's still just 67 in Titusville, actually down to 66. Homosassa Springs, 61. On over towards Tampa, 63. You can see that rain just continuing to work its way in. The area of low pressure, and you can see the lightning is still offshore, so it still has to work its way in, which means waves of showers and storms will continue to move across Central Florida for the remainder of this Monday. Just get in store for what's going to be a very wet day out there. Again, not expecting any severe storms. A rumble of thunder, especially along our west coast, is absolutely possible as we roll through the day. Friends, I want to again thank the Lean Law Firm of Central Florida for being the sponsors here of CFLW, the show, and the channel in general. They're your hometown homeowners insurance attorneys. They offer free consultation and policy reviews, anything that can impact you or your property across the entire state of Florida. So any hail damage, any hurricane damage, wind damage, burst pipes, car accidents, they're there to walk you through every step of the insurance claim process. If that comes up in your life, I suggest you go to leanonmelaw.com to get more information. Bobby Lean and the team there can certainly help you guys out. Okay, we're going to wrap up the show for today. Again, thank you for watching this live version. Thank you for liking the live stream. Thank you for subscribing to Central Florida Weather Live. Would love to get the subscriber count up. If you would like to also support me in other ways, you can find the links to the other channels below, especially for Weather Express. Again, that's going to be a 5-minute daily forecast across the United States. You can find the link to the channel and subscribe there as well. If you're watching the video version of this, or the tape version, if you will, which you can do at any point in time here on the CFLW YouTube channel, you just go to that live tab, and the recorded version of this will be on the live tab for your viewing pleasure at any point in time. And you have a specific question about the forecast, feel free to drop it down there below. I'm happy to answer that as well. Again, outside of this rain, I do expect things to get a little bit drier Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, so not expecting impactful weather to come back on live. So that means I will see you guys on Friday at 1 o'clock for CFLW, the show on Friday afternoon. We'll talk about Friday's forecast and look at that front and the impacts I expect for the weekend and how our March will kick off. Friends, you guys take care. Have a very safe rest of your Monday. Make sure you keep those umbrellas handy as well. Take it easy on those roads. And I'll see you back Friday at 1 o'clock for the latest edition of CFLW, the show. Y'all take care.